Alright, welcome to another video. Today it looks like we're in 4th position. Interesting board. We have first guy going for the triple wheat setup. Don't agree with this at all actually, because I think he's going to need he's going to need a mix of resources. He's also missing a lot of really good spots, so I don't know if it's just a meme placement, but I would probably go on the 8-10-4 here, facing towards the wood port. Another option is getting on all the ore. There's a 10-3-8. That looks pretty nice. Okay, he goes for the 5-8-10, or sorry, the 5-10-9 towards the brick port. I think that's a good placement, but I think that's a good placement. It's relatively flexible. He's on no ore, but I'm sure he'll be able to get it on the way back. Let's see, black. I'm sure he'll go for the 4-8-10. If he doesn't do that, then the 10-3-8, which is a lot of ore. I don't think the 10-3-8 is actually the best choice here, because since blue took all of the wheat in the middle there, there's not a ton of wheat placements. So there's not a lot to pair with it. So I think best choice for black here is going to be this 8-4-10. And if he does do the 8-4-10, then we have an option to do the 3-8-4. But what would we pair that with? Okay, so it is the 4-10-5. I don't hate it. He goes towards the wood port. He's really risking it with this placement, because I could very easily cut him off here and take the wood port. But do I want to do that? Because people play really, really aggressively in this game, and typically when you get cut off, they'll usually rob you quite a bit more and just be hostile towards you in general. So it is actually a factor I think you should keep in mind when you make your placements. But that being said, is it worth it? Because that is a good spot, the 4-8-3. I'm on my wheat, I'm on my ore. I'll be on a wood port. And he's not going to get a free road no matter where he goes, if I did do that. Which might make it worth it. There's also a sheep port too. The other option is to do 6-4-11 with the free road, 5-11-6, and then go up towards the 4 ore. Then I'll probably get longest road, because I'll be able to connect quite easily. Unfortunately, I think the best move here is to cut off black, and he won't be able to get a free road. Let's see, is there any other thing we can do besides that? I don't want to do this, but I think I might have to. Alright, it's bold, but we do have a backup if that doesn't work out. We always have the 3-1. I don't know if I like this setup, but is there any other options? The 5-11-6 or the 4-11-6. 5-11-6 gives me more wheat and more production. 11-4-6 guarantees me that wood port and gives me more wood. I think we will do that. Now the question is someone going to place on the 6-3-11? Red needs wheat, so he's definitely going to place on the 5, 6, 11, which blocks out that spot, which means really the only place I can go with it is down to the wheat port, which I'm sure blue would end up doing. Where would black place? Black would also go for the 3, 6, 11. So honestly, there's not a really great second settlement option here. Yeah, so for black, it makes the most sense for him to do the 5, 6, 11, which is a good setup, I think, for him. And then if the 10 rolls, he'll still be able to get to the wood port. Oh, I guess he could also do the 8, 10, but that would be really, really dumb. Okay, he doesn't. He does the 10, 3, 8, which is a great, great setup. Doesn't have any sheep, but sheep's always a tradable resource, so it's probably not going to kill him. Red should definitely go for the 11, 5, 6, and then face either up to the 4 or up to the 3. Could make sense to face up to the 3 so he can connect in the long run. And then blue would take the other spot. Okay, so he skips out on the wheat. He does the 11, 3, 6 instead, getting on the ore right away. I think that's a mistake. I think that's a mistake for sure, because he's not going to have any wheat, and none of his... There's nowhere you can even settle in the long term to get wheat. So, blue here. I think blue, I mean, no matter where he places, it's just going to be tough. I mean, he could do the 8-10 because it seems like he's just, okay, yeah, he places on just the 8 or, which, you know, isn't the greatest pick. All he has now is wheat and ore. He's on the 3-1. He's definitely hurting black's game. At this point, I think we're not playing against the best players in this game. And although we're on a lot less production than the other players, I think we can still pull something because we have flexibility. You know, even if we have to go up to the sheep port, up to the top left, if black gets a 10, we should be fine. I really don't see how blue wins this game. He's not even on sheep, so, I mean, it's just going to be really, really tough for him. Red should probably take from me, to be honest, because I have a free road, so it would make the most sense to steal from me to break that up. And then if he gets the brick, then it actually, yeah, so he does steal from me. That makes the most sense. Okay, so black didn't get a brick. And thankfully, red didn't steal my wood or my brick, so that's really, really good. And now the 10 rolls. Very unlucky for black, but we did get our road off. I'm sure black's going to rob me the rest of the game because I don't see how he can really win this now. I mean, he has the ore port up on the top, and he's on, let's see, 10 pips of ore. So, I mean, I guess it's not all lost for him. And also the 10s being wood and brick, that means every time a 10 rolls, he'll be able to place down a road. That's going to be super helpful for him as well. So it's not looking all bad. Red puts it on 8 ore. I think that makes sense. Who did he steal from? He stole from black. And that makes sense as well. Funny enough, I think red is probably our biggest threat. I guess red or black. Because black, the ore port will help him. Maybe he'll compete with me for army. And red, I think, should probably get road here. I don't see why he wouldn't. Once I get on the 10 brick, I think it's going to make it a lot easier of a game. Because if red or black doesn't try to settle on the 4-11, then that's what I'll go for. And then I'll keep snaking around. Yeah, blue's going to be 3 for winning this whole game just to get anything that he wants. I mean, that he really made some bad placements on this. I think it's safe to say you never want to place on just one tile ever. Just because, I mean, you have options. He could have done a lot of different things. Yeah, so red's going for the early road, which is, I think, a good thing for me. I think these players are a little bit less experienced, so they'll probably start gunning for red a lot earlier on, when I don't think he has the greatest setup. But still. Black 7's out again. This is just not black's game. And then he robs black too. That's tough. Thankful for me, I don't have any cards. I think if I did, they would probably try to rob from me. But I think the tough part about red setup, especially despite him being on a lot of numbers, high numbers, is just he doesn't really have great pairs. I mean, he's got wood and brick kind of, which is why he's building so many roads, but he doesn't have enough war, he doesn't have any wheat at all. So, I mean, his hand's just going to be flooded with sheep. But on the other hand, we've gone 2 revolutions, and I didn't get any resources, so... I think getting on this M810 will really help expedite some things. And then I think the next move, instead of getting the sheep port, I think is going to be to get to this 10-9 and keep snaking down below. First place we'll city is that 3-8-4. Usually you want to city the place with the most ore or most production. Yeah, blue's doing anything he can to get any sort of resources. What will be good for us is the fact that blue's a pretty loose trader and he needs every resource besides ore and wheat, so there'll be a lot of opportunities to trade. Okay, black gets the early city. We haven't seen many 6s hit. There's an 8. No 11s, no 3s. I think it's safe to say that red's going to take road. So I'm not even going to go for that. I think we're going to go for army, if anything. We are the only one out of blue and black who has sheep, and they're the only ones that have ore and wheat, so I think army should be pretty easy for us to get. Anytime you're on low production like this, it's always good to at least squeeze a couple more cards out of people to make up for that disparity. Looks like we will have to race black for this 10-9 spot, which is really important to us. And they are robbing from red, which is good. That's the problem when you go for anything too early, like longest road, biggest army. Because then you just have victory points and it doesn't really reflect how many points you actually have, because those points can always get taken from you. But I think red's managing his resources pretty well. Okay, so now that that happened, I think we might want to go to this 411. Because black can always cut us off right here, and we can't extend our road that long. And you can always use more ore. And since I'm on a wood port, it doesn't hurt to get a little extra wood too. So we're gonna go for that instead. This also keeps us flexible in case red's 5 keeps getting blocked. I think we're very under the radar though, because we have a lot less points, but I think we still have the best setup, so we're not getting blocked. We also will have blue to trade for ore and wheat, since that's the only 2 resources he has in this game. We are going to go for the dev card here in case red goes for army as well. I don't think we're going to get blocked anytime soon, but it doesn't hurt. Especially if I'm going to go for army in the long run. So now we have no cards in our hands. There's no reason to rob us. Fortunately, I think they're going to keep robbing red and black. And even though red has the most points by far right now, I really don't think he's going to win this game. Unless that 5 hits quite a bit. So yeah, red's just going to keep getting hammered here. He does steal from black though. And honestly, I think that's a better play because black has a higher likelihood of winning. Especially when he gets on a 3-1 board, because if there's anything I can give black, it's the fact that he has a lot of production. I almost think it would be more important if he would have snaked up to this 9 sheep. Because then he could have done another settlement on the 4. Then he could have settled on the 9. And then I think he would have had a good shot. 3-1's not bad too, but I think that would just be slightly better for him. This is a tempting trade. If someone... So red's asking for 3, which is too good of a trade to pass up. So if anyone asks for a trade that's just ludicrous, I like to match it. Like this one. So he's giving me 2 wheat and 1 brick for just a sheep, and I'm on a 6 sheep, so for me it's a no-brainer. He gets on his 3-1 port, but for me all I need is 1 more 6 and I'm fine. And now there's a little war going on in the comments between red and black, so I think we're sitting in a good spot. We are relying quite a bit on these 4s. Now red does need wheat, and I know he has sheep. Or maybe he doesn't have sheep. Let's see, an 11's rolled. Okay, 9's rolled, so he definitely does have sheep. So I threatened to rob him. He declined just so I can get the trade. He said no, and he gets robbed anyway, and he gets the sheep taken. I think in this scenario, if someone's trying to extort you, as annoying as it is, I think it's always good to just trade the card, especially when it's a high likelihood that I get the card anyway. Because now it's on his 5, which he needs to hit, and he lost the card anyway. So I think that was kind of a dumb play on him. Black's really not doing too bad, though. I might have to start robbing him instead of red. Because you will be able to city up all of those settlements pretty easily. Now the question is, should we even try to go for road? Or should we just let him have it? Now red's trying to snake over to the 3-1 board. We could easily just road, settle on the 6-3. That honestly might be the best thing to do here, because we can't always snake around, so I am going to do that. So I'm going to get my road up to the 6-3. And then if we really do want to fight red, we can always road on the 6, road on the 2, road on the 9, and the 11, something that the bots like to do quite a bit. And that would get to 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that would get us to 9, so that we would take road in that scenario. So I think from now on we do need to block the 5. Or maybe not the 5, maybe the 8. For black, because he'll be able to city these up once he gets a city on the 3, 8, 10. I think that 12 weeks the only thing keeping blue alive at this point. Funny enough, our 6 is not hitting really at all. Okay, so now we do need to get a city. And the most important spot to get the city is going to be that 3, 8, 4 spot. Because then every time a 4 rolls, we'll have 3 ore, and anytime a 3 rolls, we'll have at least 2 wheat. Yeah, so black with the second city. At least he's not on sheep, because I think if there's anything that could help black's game, it'd be if he was just on at least a little bit of sheep. Now if we get one more, we're actually out of settlement, so even if we wanted to cut black and blue off on the 4, we couldn't do it. Red's trying to squeeze an ore out of blue here. I definitely want to, if I can't get on the 4, I want to help blue get to the 8-4 instead of black. Black has a much better chance of winning. And blue's really not a threat at all at this point. We really want to get a city here, but I don't know if we're going to be able to. So we are just going to trade in our cards. Now we don't want to hold the 7 either, unfortunately. I think we will go for the dev card because if you hold on 7, then you have a 50% likelihood of getting hit with the robber and then 7ing out, so getting more than 8 cards or more than 7 cards and then getting hit with a 7. So I figured if I'm going to go for army anyway, I might as well just sacrifice the city for a while and then get army a little bit earlier on. But the worst part about our setup is the fact that we can't do really anything else until we get a city because we're out of settlements. But blue does get on the 8-4, which is huge. I still don't think our 3 has hit once. 4 really hasn't hit either. And that's hurt our game. For sure. The rest of this game we should definitely be blocking black. Because he should be able to get to 8 points pretty easily. And then he really doesn't have too many settlement placements after this. And that's good. Finally our 3 hits. So now all we need is a 4 or a couple 8s to hit. Well, we should be fine. Getting a city on that 3-8-4 is really, really important. Looks like blue is now hitting, going for dev cards, which makes sense. You should be able to city up these 4 settlements, but, I mean, dev cards will even be hard for him, to be completely honest. It's really easy to shut his game down, too, because if we block the 5 or the 9, we're also blocking black. Same with the 8. And at the end of the day, he has to trade in a lot of his wheat to get any sort of sheep. So I think we can outpace him for army if we need to. I think blue forgot to end his turn. Now, if red plays a knight here, then it is going to be really important for us to get another knight instead of prioritize a city, because at that point he would only need to get one more dev card, and if it's a knight, it's going to make it a lot harder for us to get army. So that would change our priorities around a little bit, but I think he's trying to trade for a city at this point. Which black will happily do because he wants dev cards, so he did make that trade for sheep. Okay, so our 4-hit. City this up. Now, where do we want to put our road? We could just go off to the side and do, which I think we will do actually. I think road at this point is just going to be too many resources. So we just need one more opportunity for a settlement, and then army. Another 4, so finally our 4s are hitting. Our next settlement will probably be on this 6-4-11, because there's more wood there. So we can trade that in for anything we need. I anticipate the 4 getting blocked once I start getting more victory points. But we really do have to watch out for black. Yeah, so red's really hurting from no wheat. No one wants to trade him because now everyone needs wheat. So we started off strong, but now he has to trade in 2 brick every time he needs a wheat. Yeah, I don't think maybe he has enough for a city. Let's see. We can probably assume there's a victory point in red's hand, the fact that he hasn't used it yet. Plenty of opportunities for a monopoly. So we will go ahead and get our second city. And we're going to put it right in the 6-4-11. So now we need one more settlement and one more knight. And we should win this. Or one more city, since that 4 hit. Red still hasn't played a knight, so those very well could be 2 VPs. And the reason I'm not trading red here, or sorry, blue here, is because I don't know what he has, but I definitely don't want him competing with me for army. Red got his first city up, so he's at 8, black's at 8. Oof. Everyone's getting dev cards now. I think we'll still win the army race. Because we'll play our next knight this time, and then we'll be able to buy 3 yeah, so there's our last knight, which means we should win this after this next turn. Unless black has something up his sleeve. So that's the importance of pacing. I had a knight really early on, but if I played it, I think that would have encouraged the rest of the players to start buying more dev cards, and now that I am 1 knight ahead, they can't really do anything about it. Like, black could easily have 3 knights in his hand right now and it wouldn't matter. Just because you can only play 1 dev card a turn. That being said, I mean, we can always be worried about dev cards. If black could roll something, he could have 2, or he could have a dev card in his hand. He could roll something that gets him another one, which would put him at 10. Thank God he took our wood, because he needs sheep for whatever he wants to do. And he got the other wood. That's really, really lucky. So that is GG. Pretty good game, actually. I think we did make a mistake on the placements. The 6-11-4 wasn't a strong placement. I think, honestly, I think I did a really risky placement strategy here. I mean, I want to say placing on the 11-5-6 would be better, but then black would have cut us off at the wood port, and that would have made it a lot more difficult. I think really black made the mistake to build all the way down to this 3-1, but he could have built up to the 4, give him more ore material. Red played a pretty good game for what he had. He did get blocked a lot. He should not have come out this strong at the beginning. I think that would have helped him later on, because you know, the worst part about being on pretty much no wheat or ore is the fact that you can get 6 points really quickly and really easily, but then everyone blocks you and you're not going to win with it. So I don't know where else I would have placed. Because there wasn't a ton of great spots left over. But anyway, stats, couple victory points. So black was at 9, so if he pulled a dev card, he could have easily pulled another victory point. A lot of 12s is king. So our numbers didn't roll too much, a lot of 5s. That's probably why black did better than I thought he was going to do. Pretty much no 6s. I mean, 6s rolled less than 12. But definitely a good game. Especially for our beginning placements. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.